Welcome back, 10th standard. We have started with exercise 4.2. We have done first question. We have done few statement sums. We are left with two problems from this exercise, question number 2 and question number 6. So let us do question number 6 first, and then we will go to question number 2, which is to solve the problems given in example number 1. Question number 6 is, a cottage industry produces a certain number of pottery articles in a day. It was observed on a particular day that cost of production of each article in rupees was 3 more than twice the number of articles produced on that day. Now this sentence gives you a relation between the cost and number of articles. If the total cost of production on that day was 90 rupees, find the number of articles produced and the cost of each article. Now the two things which you have to find out, there is a relation given between them. The relation given will be used to let those values, and the total cost of production will be used to make the equation. Let's write down. Question number 6, let number of articles produced as X, irrespective of which day it is. They're talking about just one day. So on that day, if we assume that X articles were manufactured, then the cost of production of each article, this is given in question, this is given as 3 more than twice the number of articles produced. This is 3 more than twice the number of articles produced. This is something we will use to let the value. 3 more than twice the number of articles produced. Now the number of articles has been taken as X. Twice means 2x, and 3 more can be written as plus 3. So this is the cost of production of each article, and this will be in rupees because it's cost. Once you have this, now we have to make an equation. The equation will be made using total cost of production. The total cost of production, it is given as 90 rupees. This is what I'm going to use to form my equation. But before I use this, I'm going to find the total cost of production using these two. So if cost of production for one article is 2x plus 3 rupees, I obtained here. So this is the cost for 1. So then cost of production for how many articles were produced that day, that is also assumed as X. For 1, the cost is 2x plus 3. For many, it will be X multiplied by 2x plus 3. And this cost is given as 90 rupees. According to question, this cost is 90 rupees. Once again, I was given that cost of production of one article is 3 more than twice the number of articles produced. This is a relation between the cost and the number of articles. I let the number of articles as X. From this expression, I found cost of production of one article. If I have the cost of 1, I can find the cost of all articles produced. This is the cost of 1. I need to find out the cost of X articles. From 1 to many, we multiply. So the cost of production for X articles comes out to be cost of 1 into the number of articles. This cost, this is the total cost of production for all the articles on that day. This cost is given to be 90 rupees. And this is how I form my quadratic equation. X into 2x plus 3 equals to 90. Let's simplify this, obtain the quadratic equation in standard form, factorize it, obtain the value of x, and then see what our answer is. So this will be 2x square plus 3x minus 90 equals to 0. Splitting the middle term, I get 2x square plus 15x minus 12x minus 90 equals to 0. Now if you want to recall, you can always recall how do we split the middle term. To split the middle term, we need a product which is obtained from the first and the last term. So the product required here is 2 into minus 90. This will be minus 180, and the sum that we require is obtained from the middle term, and the sum required here is positive 3. So I want to look for factors of minus 180, which will give me a sum of plus 3. So 180 into 1, but 180 into 1 is positive product. So I could write minus 180 into 1, or I could write 180 into minus 1. Then I could write down 90 into minus 2, or minus 90 into 2. Or I could write 3 into minus 60, 60 into minus 3. So this way you can find out which possible pair will give you sum plus 3 and use that pair. That pair is plus 15 and minus 12. Plus 15 and minus 12, the product is minus 180 and the sum is positive 3. So this is how I have split up my middle term. Now pairing up from these two, the constants do not have any common factor. Variable is common, 2x plus 15 left in the bracket. From here I will have 6 common. In the brackets I'll be left with 2x plus 15 equals to 0. Again my factor which is common is negative, so the sign inside the bracket changes. Now the binomial matches. 2x plus 15 common, I am left with x and minus 6 equals to 0. Once you have obtained linear factors, it's time to take them equal to 0. So 2x plus 15 equals to 0. From here the value of x obtained is minus 15 by 2. Taking the second linear factor equal to 0, x comes out to be 6. Now out of these two values, 1 is not possible. This value is rejected because it is negative. X is the number of articles. Number of articles cannot be negative. You can write down for yourself X is number of articles and it cannot be negative. So this is the correct value. The number of articles produced is 6. Based on this, let us find the cost of production. So X is 6. This is the correct value. Therefore, the number of articles that were produced on that day is 6. 6 articles were produced, and the cost of production of each article, we had assumed it as 2x plus 3. Use the value of x here. 2 into 6 plus 3. This is 15 rupees. So now you can verify. 6 articles, the cost of each is 15. What will be the total cost? 15 into 6, 90, which was given in the question. So this is how you can know your answer is correct. Now let's go to question number 2 of the exercise, where we have to solve the problems given in example number 1. Example number 1 on page number 71. The first part is John and Jivanti together have 45 marbles. So there are some marbles with John, some marbles with Jivanti. The total number of marbles is 45. Both of them lost 5 marbles each, and the product of the number of marbles they now have is 124. We would like to find out how many marbles they had to start with. Although in this example they are saying you have to represent the situation mathematically, means you have to write a quadratic equation for given equation. But since we are doing this example in second exercise we are solving the equations, so you will have to make the equation and then solve it as well. To make the equation I need to do two things. First, let the values. Second, make an equation. To let the values, I'm using the first line, the total number of marbles, and to make the equation I'm using the second line, which is the number of marbles they now have after losing 5 marbles each is 124. This is what I will use to make the quadratic equation. Let's write down. Now I have total number of marbles as 45. So let number of marbles with John as X, therefore the number of marbles with Jivanti. This is like sum of numbers. This will be total minus X. They lose 5 marbles each. So John also loses 5 marbles, Jivanti also loses 5 marbles. So number of, this is new number of marbles with John. Earlier he had X marbles, so 5 were lost. With Jivanti had 45 minus X marbles. She also lost 5 marbles. So this is 40 minus X. So this is the new number of marbles. And according to question, the product of new number of marbles is 124. This is what I'm going to use to form quadratic equation. So this will what does this give me? X minus 5 into 40 minus X equals to 124. Let's simplify and obtain the quadratic equation in standard form before we try to factorize it. So this will be 40x minus x square minus 200 plus 5x equals to 124. Let's take all the terms to right hand side. So this will be positive x square, these two 45x, on right hand side will be minus 45x, this will be plus 200, 124 is already on right hand side, so this is on left hand side. I'm left with 0. Let's solve. X square minus 45x plus 324 equals to 0. This is the quadratic equation obtained. Now I have to split the middle term. Split the middle term, obtain linear factors, and then find out the value of x. Let's split the middle term. This will be 36x minus 9x. Pairing up, let's take common factors. From here x is common, x minus 36 in the brackets. From here 9 is common, negative 9. So in the brackets I'll have x minus 36 equals to 0. So the linear factors that I obtain are x minus 36 and x minus 9. Now take these linear factors equal to 0 one by one and find out x. X minus 36 equals to 0. X is 36, and from the second linear factor the value of x is 9. Now out of these two, let us see which one is the correct value. It is possible that both the answers could be correct. So if this is the case, then answer will be, if x is 36, then number of marbles with John, we represented it as x, this will be 36, with Jivanti, this was 45 minus x, so this will be 45 minus 36 equals to 9. Or it could be the second case, so or number of marbles with John is 9, because the number of marbles with John was represented by x. X is 9, so John has 9 marbles. And with Jivanti, it will be 45 minus 9, which is 36. Now let us take a look at example number 1, second part. This example is like 6th question of the exercise. Industry produces certain number of toys in a day. The cost of production of each toy in rupees was found to be 55 minus the number of toys produced in a day. On a particular day, the total cost of production was 750 rupees. We would like to find out the number of toys produced on that day. Let us start by assuming the number of toys. Then from the number of toys we can find out the cost of production using the second sentence. The cost of production is 55 minus the number of toys, and then using the total cost of production we will form quadratic equation. So let number of toys produced as x, therefore the cost of production of one toy or each toy, this is given to be 55 minus the number of toys produced. This is given in question. So the number of toys produced is x. This can be written as 55 minus x rupees. Now using these two, if the cost of production of one toy is 55 minus x rupees, then the cost of production of all these articles, for one the cost is 55 minus x, for x toys, from 1 to many we have to multiply. This will be x multiplied by 55 minus x. According to question, the total cost of production is given to be 750 rupees. So that means these two values will be equal, and this is how we are going to get our quadratic equation. So this will be x into 55 minus x equals to 750. Simplify. 55x minus x square equals to 750. Let's take all terms to right hand side. So this is the quadratic equation that I obtain. Now I will split the middle term to factorize it and hence obtain the value of x. Splitting the middle term, I get x square minus 30x minus 25x plus 750 equals to 0. Pairing and then taking the common factors from the pairs, I get x into x minus 30 from the first pair minus 25 into x minus 30 from the second pair. Now the binomial matches. X minus 30 into x minus 25 equals to 0. I have factorized the quadratic polynomial into linear factors. Take each of these linear factors equal to 0 and then obtain x. So x minus 25 equals to 0 gives you x as 25. So either the value of x is this or the value of x is 25. So if x is 30, what will be the answer? The number of toys, which is x, is 30, and the cost of production. This is not asked, although cost of production of one toy, this was 55 minus x. So this will be 55 minus 30, which is 25 rupees. And from here, if you find the total cost, the cost for one toy is 25 rupees. For 30 toys, it will be 750 rupees. Multiplication. And from here, the other answer that is possible, the number of toys, which is x, is 25, and the cost of production of one toy, this will be 55 minus x. 55 minus 25, this will be 30 rupees. Now if the cost of production for one toy is 30 rupees, for 25 toys it will be 25 into 30, which is 750, and hence it verifies our answer. With this, your exercise 4.2 is complete.